Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday edition, el edición de mardi. ¿Es correcto? No sé. It's a Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. You know, I should really learn how to say Burn It Down with Kim Brown in other languages. That would be cool. And I'm sure not all that difficult to discover how to phrase such a thing in the good Spanish or French or some other colonizer language of your choice. This English. I need to spice this up a little bit. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I'd like to welcome you all to the program. Those friend or foe, bitch. It don't even matter who's in here. You know what I'm saying? At least not to me. My mods might say something different, but to me, yeah. Come on in here. We take all comers. You know what I'm saying? Keep it classy. Yeah, as much as you're able to, because I keep telling y'all I'm reading the book, or rather, I'm listening to the book. And a little difficult for certain people to keep it classy. They come from many long generations of not classy, which by the way, I don't judge class. It's relative, but the unclassy is sometimes be the fucking loudest and the wrongest. And it's like, how, beloved, how did we arrive here? Anyway, I'd like to welcome everybody to the program. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've got a good one for you today, baby. Again, people kind of know better, or maybe they know that I don't check notifications, so maybe nobody bothers me because they know I'm not responding. I'm not responding to clapbacks because I have to be aware that it's there, right? Yeah, there's no fun to talking shit about people on the internet if the people you're talking shit about don't check the internet, right? So it's kind of like, why would anybody want to start no internet beef with me? But here I am again, to dunk on and remind y'all why the Democrats ain't shit. And to be clear, for anyone who is new here who may be confused, Republicans also ain't shit. But at the same time, the Republicans are not vying for the votes and trying to guilt black people. Maybe they started to, but not as much as Democrats do. Okay. Democrats are reminding me, you, everybody, why they are absolutely not the party of democracy, why they are absolutely indeed the party of fascism, also plus. and the Republicans is right there together. Them niggas is looking like Run DMC on the Tougher Than Leather motherfucking album cover together. The Republicans and Democrats being fascisty together, tougher than leather. But I'm disappointed at the extent of which my folks, black folks is getting game run on them and going for it. And I am just like, wow. wow. We have this exact game run on us in 2008. Kids, don't we recognize game by now? Apparently we do not. So we must have some refreshers on what game looked like. And there have been a number of rulings coming out of some battleground states, some critical states that are going to be integral to a presidential electoral college victory for either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Kamala, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation. Kamala. The only pronunciation is that's acceptable around here. I mean, people have different accents and regional dialects. Over here on in BIDWKB land, it's Cop Mala. Say it together, everybody. Cop Mala. Very good. It's like you guys have heard this before. Cop Mala. Yep. So whoever gets the electoral victory between Trump and Cop Mala is going to have to go through a number of states, including Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. And each of these states in recent days has issued rulings on some lawsuits regarding the ability of third-party candidates to remain on the ballot. And guess who is trying to get people off the ballot? Is it Trump? is it the GOP? Not this time, beloveds. It's Kamala and the Democrats. And I need to understand what is their definition of democracy when people don't get to vote for who they would prefer to vote for. Anyway, we'll get into that. I also have a Creeps Corner roundup. I couldn't avoid these predator stories if I wanted to. You guys, I could not, honest to God, I could not avoid stories of abusers, intimate partner violence, And motherfuckers just out here being strange as shit. There is a story out of Montgomery County, Maryland. Well, I can't even call it Mo County. It is Mo County, but it is in a town called Tacoma Park. Tacoma Park, I believe, straddles. Does it also straddle PG? I think it does. I think part of Tacoma Park straddles PG, Montgomery County, and Northwest DC. It's one of those interesting DMV area towns that has multiple jurisdictions. Anyway, there's somebody out here flashing their penis. There's someone out here on the trails, on the walking trails, on the jogging trails, flashing their penis. And I want to encourage the women who are walking on the area trails, and really any trail, any outdoor space in which you as a woman or someone in a woman's body, that you are perfectly entitled to be without someone flashing the DICK at you. And I think it's time, and especially in instances like this, that retaliation is in order. And I've thought about this, so I want to hear y'all's ideas, because I have ideas as to what should be done with this penis flashing fucker specifically here in the DMV. I have ideas. I would love to hear you guys' ideas. Also, there's a story I wanted to touch on because it was well circulated weeks. It happened this month. But the sentencing of a former Rochester, New York police officer who was convicted of SAing a 13-year-old, and his sentence for being a 40-year-old man, a cop no less, a former police officer from Rochester, New York, his sentence for R-wording a 13-year-old, he got weekends, y'all. Weekends in jail. You know who they usually give weekends in jail to? People who have like multiple DUIs, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not violent offenders, certainly not sexual predators. I would hope doesn't get weekends as a jail sentence, but this cop did. This cop did. I hate to tell you about it, though I must. So please stay tuned for that. And because I know I got a couple of bummer stories, I have a palate cleanser. This is something I want to add to my show here, because sometimes I discuss things, most times, I'm discussing shit that, doesn't usually bring smiles to people's faces. Even when I'm laughing at Trump, I know people that get stressed out by Trump and they don't like to see that shit on my show. They're like, Kim, come on, please. We watch enough MSNBC, and shame on y'all if that's the case. But I want to start a new thing. We're doing a palate cleanser, and it has to do with some of our R&B faves, dare I say icons of my childhood at least, and a familial connection that I did not know about until I fucking saw this clip on TikTok. I said, no shit. I was stunned. Maybe y'all already seen it, but hush hush for those that have not. So anyway, I'm going to make a futile attempt to get in this chat. And I think I have to have another witness here so I can be like, see, I'm pushing the button and they're not letting me to fuck in, because I can only assume YouTube is fucking with me, right? Which we all know is the case. You know what I'm saying? We know that Google and COINTELPRO probably working togethers. Again,
It's either YouTube or all 400 of them apps that you got open.
Nigga. First of all,
Y'all have a good day. Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will. Will be here all week, everybody. He'll be here all week. There's so many goddamn things. What is all this shit? All right, let's go. All right, let's go. All right, we're not going. That's fucking great. Will, there's a million things upcoming. How do I have all these upcoming things here? I don't even know what day is it? What zone am I in? Wait. Oh, wait. God damn it. That's yesterday. That's the last week. You know what? Forget it. Forget it. By the way, everybody, we're going to be joined by one of our Fire Fam VIPs. I told y'all that I was going to be reading off the names of all the supporters, and I know y'all think I'm a big liar, and I'm not, though. I'm a disabled person who encounters challenges, so I'm not lying. I'm gonna send a good brother Latif to StreamYard chat. Can you do me a favor, Will? Can you drop the StreamYard link to Latif somewhere? He'll find it. I've asked Latif to read the names of our supporters it's not super urgent, but at some point. So anywho, because I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone that supports. Period. Point blank. If you supported during the fundraiser, thank you so much. If you support on an ongoing basis, thank you so much. If you shoot us a super chat here and there on the regs every once in a while, I don't care. I thank you for all that you do because you don't have to. Times is hard. My auntie got enough problems of her own. Nigga, you supposed to be grown. I agree. But negativity is all you seem to ever see. I admit I did some dumb shit and I'm probably gonna do some more. You shouldn't hold that against me though. Mm. Phew, my nigga CeeLo. Oh man, god damn it. Isn't CeeLo a creep too? Shit. You can't even like nobody no more. God damn it. That's CeeLo Green, by the way, from Get Up, Get Out, Get Something off Outcast debut album, Southern Playlist of Cadillac Funky Music. If you're not familiar, get familiar. But Get Up, Get Out. For Gen X, for me, class of 96, ooh, shit, that shit hit. Even though I graduated and everything. But goddamn, I felt that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whew.
Real quick, we got a super chat from Mama Lorraine. Love to you from the hearts. We love you. And CeeLo fake phone blowing up is the wildest shit. Like, and I love CeeLo too. That's why I was chiming in on that.
Okay, but you gotta get now. See, you gotta have context, beloved. See, all the old folks don't know, and I am old folks. So what is he talking about? CeeLo phone blowing up? His phone literally blowing up.
Yeah, he had like a thing with, I guess he was, I don't know if he was trying to go viral or what, but he had like a thing where he was in the studio and his phone like blew up on his ear.
And he faked it.
Yeah. We should have knew from the angle, but yeah.
CeeLo was trying to get paid, Charlie. Thank you for that, Will. Thank you. You guys remember that? I don't. I remember the bad things about CeeLo, unfortunately, and the good things. He had great music, but Jesus. Mama Lorraine, you are on our list. You are on our list of supporters to thank. And let me thank you again. Thank you so much to Anna. Thank you so much to Abby. I know wasn't there an additional support sesh over the weekend? Please consider becoming a channel member and or patron. Well, you don't have to be a member, actually. Anybody, just fucking subscribe to the shit. We do disability support chats. Call them Around the Fire support sesh. I am a disabled person. It is me. I am here. And guess what? 1 out of 5 people in this country, some speculate 1 out of 4 people in this country have some sort of disability, right? And chances are, even if you yourself are not disabled, you probably know someone that's disabled, right? So disability rights is something you need to think about if you are not disabled, while you are able. It would behoove us. it would behoove everybody to get on the same fucking page with disability rights, because kids, it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And if not for you, for somebody that you know and love. So you should want the world to be accessible and not fucking ableist for everybody. There's that. Anywho, let me get to my doc. Do me a favor, guys. Engage with the content. Let me get to my doc. YouTube did it again, y'all. Our Friday show, for reasons, got 12,000 views. Who the fuck knows why? I don't. I have no idea. But let me tell you how YouTube be playing me though, because again, I think sometimes they forget and they take their finger off the button. They take their finger off the suppression button, right? And then they let my shit get out there, and then people tune in, right? And then they said, "The fuck, Kim Brown got 10,000 views." No. Push that suppression button again. Put your finger back on the button. So how in the hell did my Friday show literally get 10,000 views in 24 hours, and then in 3 days it got like 100 views or something stupid, right? And it's like, bruh, pick one, man. Either don't put my shit out there ever, or let me motherfucking flourish out here, YouTube. That shit be looking fishy, because it always caps out at that like 12,000K, and I'm like, that's got to be an algorithm in input somewhere somehow. Like if it gets to this point, then start desuggesting it or whatever the hell the proper term is, right? I don't know. but I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm like black people in the 80s that knew the CIA was distributing crack. Nigga, we didn't know. We didn't have evidence. We didn't have the fucking memos, but niggas knew because we're an intuitive people. I know what I'm being fucked with. Anyway, thank you. Thank you guys for letting me get that off my chest. I appreciate it. Thank you. Because it should be making me mad, though I am accustomed to it. You know what I'm saying? In all forms, in all forms. All right, where are we at here? Let's get this motherfucking party started. Hold on. I'm sorry for cussing. I'm not sorry at all for cussing, but I don't know. It's what people with class say. It's what people who are demure and mindful say. I am neither of those things. Actually, that's not true. I am occasionally mindful, demure. Me, demure, the why, the fuck, me, demure, no, the think so. Anyway, let's burn it down with Kim Brown. Thank you guys so much for making the time to be here. We do this every Tuesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We blaze oppression, beloveds, and sometimes it's the people that look like you, aka your own niggas, who be the ones trying to oppress you and hold you back, but steadily telling you it's somebody else. But the gag is, it could be the both of them, okay? As much as Kamala Harris, pardon me for the mispronunciation, Kamala Harris and the Democrats are desperately and dare I say with some success convincing people that a Donald Trump White House, a Trump Vance ascension to the White House again will somehow result in fascism. It will result in the end of democracy. Kamala Harris, a clip I almost pulled, but why? Because y'all have seen her say this 50,000 fucking times. Here come Kamala Harris. Donald Trump has vowed to weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies, against his political opposition, against his political adversaries, and democracy is on the line right now. We cannot afford to lose our democracy. I wonder how the Democrats define democracy. Do they mean literally the ability to cast votes, to go to the ballot box and vote for the candidate of your choice? Is that what you guys think that the Democrats mean by democracy? It's kind of what it sounds like. But when you look past someone's words, aka their bullshit, and pay a little bit closer attention to their deeds, it is quite revelatory. Now, many of you have been known this, and for those that don't know this, let me tell you. In a number of battleground states, key states across the electoral map, state party Democrats filed lawsuits to try to remove third party candidates off of the ballot. This has been an ongoing story for this entire election cycle, but there's been some movement. Okay, so we're talking about the likes of Dr. Cornel West, Claudia De la Cruz, Dr. Jill Stein, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, Jr. has cleared the way for his removal off a number of state ballots after he expressed his support and I suppose Nepo baby consolidation of support behind Donald Trump, you know, his class homie. So that's not probably going to fall under objection, but the objection remains in the states in which the other candidates are being challenged, not by Trump and Kennedy, but by Democrats. Will, can you put up that first article for me, please? Because there's been a number of rulings over here in the past week. Them shits have been cray-cray, and they have been wide-ranging. So let's start in Georgia. So in Georgia, a judge says that 4 independent and third-party candidates must be thrown off the ballot. Okay, they gone, and this includes. It does include RFK, but fuck him. He's already taken himself or is attempting to take himself off the ballot. But this does include Dr. West, Claudia De la Cruz from the Party of Socialism and Liberation. And is Jill Stein on this one? She is. Green Party candidate for president, Dr. Jill Stein. We know Dr. West is running as an independent. If you're in the state of Georgia, as of right now, You're not going to be able to cast a vote for anybody except for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Libertarian presidential candidate. Okay. This comes after a ruling by an administrative law judge who basically claimed that the third party candidates had not met the threshold to qualify for the ballot. And the judge used, I won't say obscure, but the law sounds fucking obscure. I think this is from the law was passed in Georgia in 2017 or 2018, which basically said that it's not enough for a third party candidate to simply meet the baseline of signatures. They have to receive sworn affidavits from would be electors, right? And in addition to voters in the primary wouldn't or should not be voting for the individual candidates themselves. They should be voting for these electors. It sounds like some fucking higgy haga. Okay, some fucking higgy haga. Now, but the kicker is two things. So this judge has made this ruling, which at this moment disqualifies Dr. West, De la Cruz, and Dr. Stein from the ballot. Okay. However, this judge's decision is not final because ultimately the Georgia Secretary of State, Raffensperger, what's this nigga's name? With Galifianakis. I don't know. One of them whites with the multisyllabic name, Raffensperger, that Bama. It's up to him to decide whether or not these candidates will remain on the ballot. And I believe the decision is his and his alone. His office has already said that they are examining the judge's ruling. But again, the Georgia Secretary of State is not bound by this ruling. Okay. But the kicker is who brought the fucking lawsuit, right? Because ultimately, all of these candidates, West, De La Cruz, and Jill Stein, had met threshold per the Georgia State Board of Elections and per the Secretary of State to be on the ballot. It was the Georgia state Democrats who filed the lawsuit to throw these candidates off the ballot. As you guys recall, Joe Biden, excuse me, Ho Biden, only won Georgia by less than 12,000 votes, as you guys recall. So where my Trumpers at? What your man's call? Your man's called the Georgia Secretary of State and said, my nigga. He said, I need you to find 11,474 votes so I can run the fucking table, right? Your man's Don. That's what Donald said. His attempt to be stealing some votes. So here come the Democrats like, no, we can't just let Trump steal all the votes. We need our chance to steal some votes too. And here's how you do it. You steal votes by not even letting the candidates on the ballot, baby. I'm sorry. Isn't the Democrats the same party of we need to pass the John Lewis voter equality, whatever the fuck. We got to pass that shit for John Lewis. We got to do it for John Lewis, everybody. He had his head bust in by the police. We got to do it for John Lewis, as they still approve new funding for the police and don't do fuck all to expand or improve voting rights. In fact, here we are, the Democratic Party of 2024, trying to literally steal votes away from the likes of Jill Stein, Claudia De la Cruz, and Cornel West as candidates, but more broadly stealing votes from their parties and from their supporters, okay? Ain't shit democratic about that, beloveds. That sounds like dirty fucking tricks, okay? All of this shit is dirty fucking macking. This is just starting in Georgia, okay? To be clear. So that is going to be somewhat resolved by September 17th because the state of Georgia has to start mailing out its mail-in ballots to members of the military, etc., by September 17th. So the Georgia Secretary of State has to make this decision relatively soon whether or not to allow these candidates on the ballot. Now, for those that are watching from out of the country, America is a fucked up place. I'm sure you guys know this already. Okay. The laws and norms and mores of this goddamn wretched colony don't really make a lot of fucking sense. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how a judge can make one ruling and a state official ultimately have the end all be all decision. But it is a hodgepodge of how shit is allowed to fly in this country. So that is what's happening in Georgia. We will be watching to see what direction and decision that the Georgia Secretary of State ends up making, and whether or not these independent party candidates will be allowed back on the ballot. So, where should we go next? Will take me to WIYY. It was at HYY. Yes, I'm sorry. Shout out to the NPR affiliate out here, WHYY, out of Philadelphia, because Pennsylvania also a very critical battleground state, hotly contested. And it says that the Democrats get a third party hopeful in Pennsylvania knocked off of the Pennsylvania ballot. And they would be referring to Claudia De la Cruz of the Party of Socialism and Liberation. The article goes on to detail the ways, again, in which the Pennsylvania state Democrats engineered this lawsuit to keep Claudia De la Cruz off of the ballot. The judge, by the name of Judge Brigance Ledbetter, said that Claudia De la Cruz's application to be on the Pennsylvania ballot was, quote, fatally flawed, and went on to explain how the reason why she won't be allowed on the Pennsylvania ballot has to do with the electors that she had pledged to be voting for her. A number of them were already registered Democrats. So state party Democrats challenged this, saying that in Pennsylvania, you cannot declare as an elector for one candidate whilst voting in the party of not your party. not your party. This is not your party. So that is how Claudia De la Cruz, and is Dr. West knocked off this joint too? I think so, beloveds. These out here playing the game dirty. Oh, yes, Cornel West not going to be on the ballot in Pennsylvania either. Now, what's interesting here is that this is happening also not just in Pennsylvania, but in Arizona, I think Nevada. There are some Republican-backed entities that are trying to get involved here, putting up, trying to either file lawsuits on behalf of, or basically extending support towards the independent third party candidates to keep them on the ballot. Now, this isn't in the spirit of altruism or that these Republican entities believe in democracy. No, it serves a very strategic purpose, obviously. If Cornel West and Claudia De la Cruz and Dr. Jill Stein, if these people are on the ballot who would be courting, or rather be attracting, voters who I suppose otherwise might be Democrats, right? But for the Democrat being a fucking piece of shit party that is beholden to corporate interests, that is beholden to APAC interests, that doesn't give a fuck about climate and children and the things that they claim to care about, right? Like, but for the Democrats being all the way shitty, people voting for Claudia De la Cruz or people voting for Jill Stein or Cornel West might be voting Democrat, right? So when we're talking about very narrow state victory margins, like I said, Georgia last time, 12,000 votes separated Joe Biden from Donald Trump. If we're talking about the margins in the hundreds or even low thousands, every vote counts. And the Democrats are here to ensure that all y'all would be hippy dippy leftists, y'all think y'all socialist for and shit. y'all think y'all pro Palestine and anti-Zionist and shit. No, you're not going to have a candidate on the ballot. No candidate for you. Nope. Because Cornel West, if he's there, you might be tempted to pull the lever for him. If Claudia De la Cruz is on the ballot, you might be tempted to pull the lever for her instead of Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, Kamala Harris. Democrats can't have that. They can't have you just out here voting for whoever the fuck you want. How are they going to save democracy if you just out here voting for whoever the fuck you want? Does that make any sense? Absolutely not. So we have to go to court. We have to file lawsuits in order to keep the likes of De La Cruz, West, and Jill Stein off the ballots. But Michigan, whoa. Some shit switched up in Michigan, y'all. Michigan went a different direction. Now, Will, if you could cue up that video for me, please. Because the state Democrats in Michigan, along with the Secretary of State in Michigan, filed to make sure that Dr. West was not going to be on the ballot. This is not what I'm looking for. And that was challenged, obviously. Hold on. This is not working. No, everything is working. What I'm looking for is not working, but that's okay because we're going to pull it up. So I want us to check out the testimony from a person who spoke at the, I believe it was a hearing of the Michigan canvassers. This is a part of the state election apparatus. And this person spoke not so much in defense of Cornel West specifically, because I know Cornel West was targeted here by the Michigan State Democrats. But who we're going to hear from, I believe this is Joseph Kishore. And I want us to hear what Joseph has to say because he gave a very, I think, unbiased and very fair critique of how nasty these Democrats are operating. Okay, for all the cries about fascism, and we have to guard against fascism, so we have to guard against a Trump reelection, we have to protect and save democracy. Then why are these motherfuckers behaving so goddamn undemocratic? Why are they working so hard to literally exclude people who have a fraction of the resources, who have a fraction of the money that Kamala Harris has? Why are they working so hard to keep liberal? And I'm pardon me, that's insulting. They're not liberals. I'm sorry. Why are they working so hard to keep leftists off the ballot? You know why, and I know why. Maybe some of our new friends in here do not know why, but I want us to listen to Joseph talk to and address the Michigan canvassers and about how fucking wrong it is to exclude people from the ballot simply because they are an inconvenience or their candidacy may stand in the way of your candidate, which is not a good reason, by the way, to try to get somebody off the ballot. But let's take a listen.
First of all, I just want to say that I'm not speaking on behalf of the West campaign, either legally or politically. I have differences as, you have just approved my own petition to be on the ballot for the state of Michigan earlier in this session. I'm the presidential candidate of the Socialist Equality Party and running as an independent candidate. I would like to state, however, that I fully support the right of Cornel West to appear on the ballot and call on this body to vote to certify that result today. What has in fact happened? Cornel West and his supporters have submitted over 26,000 signatures. Your own staff has decided and recommended that you approve this petition, saying that it has a confidence level of 99.9% that a sufficient number of signatures have been obtained. You are now talking about the possibility of imposing new requirements, new procedures for the West campaign to submit in order to satisfy the requirements, as has been pointed out at a very late stage in this process. If such a decision is made, it is in fact an outrageous attack on the rights of the voters of Michigan, and on basic democratic rights. I want to make three additional points. First, the requirements for independent candidates to get on the ballot in Michigan and other states throughout the United States are extremely onerous and undemocratic as they are already. The United States talks about defending democracy all over the world, but for independent candidates to get on the ballot, third parties requires oftentimes tens of thousands, if not even more, signatures of registered voters just to get on the ballot. And even when those procedures are satisfied, there are still further attempts to keep candidates off the ballot. It is, in fact, outrageous. Second, it has to be pointed out that those arguing to keep West off the ballot, the challengers, as well as the lawyers, are leading members of the Democratic Party, that is, political opponents of Cornel West. They are discussing and seeking to prevent, and this is how it will be seen, I think correctly, their political opponents from being on the ballot so that the voters of Michigan are unable to vote for anyone besides the two candidates of the Democratic and Republican parties. And they are specifically seeking to prevent workers and others in Michigan from being able to vote for West, and if they so choose to do so. And the final point I would just make is that related to that, when we're speaking not just about the democratic rights of independent candidates, but fundamentally the democratic right to vote. If a candidate cannot appear on the ballot, it severely undermines the ability of people to vote. And that is what is at issue. People have the right to vote for candidates that they want to vote for. It's the most, in some sense, fundamental of all democratic rights, the right to vote. And efforts to prevent systematically unending obstacles for independent candidates to get on the ballot made by the Democratic and Republican parties who control the whole political system to prevent other candidates from getting on the ballot is an attack on democratic rights, an attack on the most fundamental democratic right of all, the right to vote. So I do call on this body to certify what has been, in fact, the will of the petitions, the process through which independent candidates have to get on the ballot has been satisfied. Your own staff has said that it is 99.9% confident that those procedures have been satisfied. And then the obligation of this body is, in fact, to allow the voters of Michigan to have the right to vote for the candidates they choose.
Yep. That's Joseph Kishore. I hope I'm saying his name right, but I'm sure he's used to people maybe not saying his name correctly. Kishore. That's how Kishore. I'm not sure. I have difficulty with European names. They're very, difficult to pronounce sometimes. I don't know why. Socialist and Equality Party candidate. And a couple things there. I appreciate, number one, him wearing a mask. If you guys don't know, we're back in a COVID surge. Who the fuck knew? Oh, y'all wait till these first couple of weeks of school come back, kids. Oh, shit. We can talk about COVID another day, but I appreciate them making a show to wear a mask. So thank you so much for doing that, Mr. Kishore. But I appreciate him also pointing out the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. Remember, the party that's here to protect democracy and to protect us from the fascism of Donald Trump. Kamala Harris has repeatedly said that Trump intends to weaponize the Department of Justice against his political opponents. Well, then I suppose the Democrats just intend to weaponize State Board of Elections against their political opponents. I see weaponization of institutions controlled by whoever's in power. I see the weaponization on all sides here. Okay. If you think that anybody in America literally has the ability to cast a vote freely and the ability to vote for whoever they want, you have to think again, kids. And if you believe naively that the Democrats are the choice here, because if not, then I guess Trump is going to roll the MAGA tanks down the street, which again, maybe I don't put past Trump, but conversely, who is the party in charge attempting to build and fund and authorize cop cities across the country? A number of these would-be cop training facilities that siphon off hundreds of millions of dollars away from communities. A lot of these are being greenlit and funded and voted for by Democratic politicians. Okay. So again, miss me with Trump is bringing the fascism. I need you to fucking pay attention to what's happening in Cop City in Atlanta, the proposed Cop City in New Jersey, the proposed Cop City in Baltimore, the in Baltimore, the cop training academy somewhat recently opened in Chicago. All of these Democratic controlled places want to refund the police, and Kamala Harris wants to help them out. But in addition to doing that, in addition to that bit of fascism that the Democrats very proudly advocate and stand behind, the one issue you thought that the Democrats had on lock was the vote, right? The John Lewis freedom from voting. And I'm not mocking John Lewis at all. I'm mocking how they invoke the memory of John Lewis. And maybe I am mocking John Lewis because from what I understand, after he got bust upside his head, after he got co-opted into the system and by the machine, John Lewis tamped that shit down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't talking as radical as he was when he was a younger man. Once he got elected to Congress, and that hairline started to go all the way bad, right? Maybe that was his punishment from the Lord. Regardless, when you hear the Democrats extol that we got to do it for the John Lewis Justice and Voting Act, nigga. Ain't no justice in voting when the Democrats themselves are suing to keep people off of the ballot. People that have, by and large, have outright met the threshold to be added to the ballot, right? Here come Kamala Harris and state Democrats from Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania, I believe, throw Arizona and Nevada out there too. Oh, but you guys, Dr. West is allowed. Wait a minute. Will, did I send that story? I'm sorry, back to Michigan very quickly. Dr. West is going to be on the ballot. Judge Robert Redford, I'm not lying. That's the name of the judge. Judge Robert Redford ruled that the West campaign can be on the Michigan presidential ballot. It's a law similar to the one outlined in Pennsylvania, or in Georgia. See, again, all of this shit is all fucking confusing. But the point is, the judge ruled that whatever West did was perfectly fine. Like the affidavits that were signed by the electors that were pledged to him were acceptable to this judge. Okay. The Michigan Democratic Party and the Democrat who is the Secretary of State in Michigan, what's Jocelyn's last name? Starts with a B. Anyway, Jocelyn, the Secretary of State in Michigan, has vowed to appeal this judge's ruling that allows Cornel West on the ballot. So the Democrats didn't even take this loss in court gracefully, beloveds. They intend to appeal to make sure that Cornel West specifically and the rest of them. I don't know if Claudia was on the ballot in Michigan or not, but Dr. West in particular is going to be on the ballot in Michigan. Now that could be consequential because Dr. West has been, if there has been no issue that Cornel West has been on point in 100% right about, it has been the genocide in Gaza, right? And rightfully calling out not only Netanyahu, but calling out Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, all as war criminals. Accurately. Good job, Dr. West. That is correct. And if there's any state in this whole battleground electoral map in which that issue in particular could literally make the difference of who wins and loses Michigan, it is the issue of the genocide in Gaza, because of the number of Palestinians that live in and around Detroit, that live, what's that, Wayne County, what's that out there? Dearborn, all them Arabs live out there, Arab Americans, decades, generational folks, you know what I'm saying? By the tens of thousands, many of them registered voters being represented in Congress by the only Palestinian in Congress, Rashida Tlaib. You got Dr. West back on the Michigan ballot. Could be problems for that Kamala Harris. It's going to be problems for Trump and Kamala, to be perfectly honest, right? But we know more so for Kamala. And the Democrats are scared shitless. So it is okay for them to usurp democracy. It is okay for them to kneecap the opportunity for voters to cast votes for the candidates of their choosing. It's okay for Democrats to do that because, it's in the greater good to keep Trump and his real fascism out, all the while not acknowledging that any denial of people to be able to freely cast a vote for the candidate of their choice is indeed fascism and is indeed undemocratic, something that the Democrats are very gleefully participating in. And this is where it comes back to us, everybody. And I know when I say us, I mean like black people, us, and the whites that are down with us. You know what I'm saying? The John Brown Brigade is down with us. The Afro Latinos is down with us. The rowdy Asians is down with us. You know what I'm saying? We standing together for the working people. You know, it is a must. Damn, I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry. Y'all know I smoke a lot of weed. Oh, but my point is, it's the game. The game, kids. Why are we out here falling for game? Why is y'all mama and daddy out here falling for game? Why is y'all auntie and uncle out here falling for fucking game from Kamala and the goddamn Democrats? We had this game run on us in 2008, right? Obama came in here, big promises, promising big things, even big global things, so to speak. You know, he pledged to be better on climate. He pledged to be better. No, that's a lie. He said he was going to close Guantanamo. Obama came in pledging a lot of shit. Okay. And what did we get? We got worser economic conditions for black folks. We had fewer black people who were homeowners. We had increased unemployment amongst black folks, even though I think the unemployment numbers are fugazi anyway. But regardless, our metrics, our material metrics as black folks did not improve under Barack Hussein Obama. Okay. And if you think that it's going to improve under Kamala, what's Kamala's middle name? Joyce? What is it? Karen? If you think it's going to improve under Kamala Karen Harris, you got another fucking thing coming. And we need to tell our people that. And for every reason that your parent or your elder, or God forbid, even your spouse, sibling, whoever are the big liberals in your life, whoever the big Democrats are in your life, every time they tell you, well, if Trump gets into office, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, let us look at what has happened under Joe Biden. Okay. We have seen skyrocketing inflation. We have seen an ignoring of the COVID pandemic, because the fact that we are in a COVID surge right fucking now, and everybody knows it. You know somebody right now who is sick with COVID. I promise you do. Okay. And all we get is these little news blurbs. Oh, well, the CDC is recommending everyone above the age of 6 months and over get a booster. Well, can you tell us why? Is there some reason for that? Is there something particular to the new strains or variants of COVID that makes the previous strains that, killed over 1 million people in America? Is there something about these new strains that are worse? Do we need to know with symptoms? Nope, they don't give a fuck to tell you about any of that fucking information. And yet they will lay the bulk of the COVID pandemic at the feet of Trump. And I think really blame should be equally shared by all, okay? Because I don't see in the ways that Joe Biden is even keeping up with the numbers at all. Like, we don't know how many people are dying right now from fucking COVID. They don't even count that shit. What do you call that? The intentional withholding of healthcare data from the public with something that is now endemic. Don't we keep track of the flu? We absolutely do. How come we're not hearing nothing about COVID numbers? Because them shits is bad. That's why. What else happened under Biden? What else? Oh, yes. We are in two proxy wars. One proxy war being waged in Ukraine with against somebody who is not afraid to let the chopper sing, by the way. Okay? We can keep fucking with Putin if we want to. Okay? I would prefer that we didn't, because I live in proximity to Washington, D.C. My good comrade Jacqueline Luqman reminded us that we are in the vaporizing zone. Okay, like where I live, if a nuke were to hit DC, oh, it's curtains, baby. Immediately I'm going up to yonder in a nanosecond. All right, so I would prefer if we don't really antagonize Mr. Putin too much, but also the proxy war, or rather the funding and arming of Israel to commit an unspeakable genocide against the Palestinian people, right? This all under Joe Biden. We could go on and on, but there's more. And I'm not assured that a Trump president equals these other bad things not happening. They're all going to happen because this is the ethos of America. This is the train that America is on. America is not even democratic for its own people, for its own citizens. Both parties are quite guilty of this. They call it a duopoly for a reason. And quite frankly, it is deeply unsophisticated and naive and childish and unrealistic to think that either one of these fucking parties has any of our best interests at heart. They don't. They don't. They don't give a fuck about democracy here. They don't give a fuck about spreading democracy abroad, whatever that looks like. Any country that is getting the attention of American leadership, and they're telling like American presidents saying, we want to bring democracy to your country. Y'all better fucking run. you better run and hide your kids and hide your wife. If America wants to bring democracy to your country, y'all are fucked. Okay. It's going to turn out bad. So at what point are we going to set aside the pretense that this political system does anything to help us? Does anything to benefit us? It doesn't even want our minimal participation, right? It doesn't even really want us to be fully engaged in voting. But at the end of the day, they understand that whether it's Trump or whether it's Kamala, either way, special interests win. Okay, the military industrial complex wins. Boeing wins. Raytheon wins. Okay, they all fucking win. Blackwater, what's the motherfuckers who them terrible motherfuckers are? Blackstone, Black Knight, what's them niggas called? Blackwater, you know who I'm talking about. They win. They win. The mercenaries that get the huge defense contracts to go in there and coup leaders of countries whose interests we don't agree with, which means capitalism interests don't agree with, they win. We as the working American folks, or proud of me, those that are Black in America, I'm trying to adjust how I refer to myself because I don't feel very American, even though my people have been here literally hundreds of years. Fuck all your ancestors who came across to Ellis Island, bitch. I've been here, okay? Me and my folks been here, okay? I don't want to hear no immigration migrant fucking story, especially from the Europeans. Talking anyway, let me calm down. because I've been here, and I'm ready to go. And if we have any racists that would like to facilitate my exit from America, to facilitate me going back to Africa, as it were, our cash platforms are BIDWKB. That's us on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, Patreon.me/BIDWKB, Patreon.com. Because I'm here to take all your money to go back to fucking Africa. Please, please, and thank you. Send it yesterday. Democrats, don't be fooled. And to be clear, and I say this, and it should not even have to be said, I am not encouraging people to get hip or get wise about Kamala Harris because I want Trump to win. Incorrect. It is fuck Republicans. It is fuck Donald Trump. It is fuck Democrats. It is fuck Kamala Harris. It's the whole system, everybody. I want the system to fail and fall down, okay? Because it's exploited us for too long. We are too divided amongst race and class, and for why? Poor and working class white folks are out here getting fucked. The only difference is they're not out here getting shot by the police to boot, right? But we need them to smarten the fuck up and understand that your children are being miseducated out here. Your healthcare is going unaddressed out here. Your wages have been stagnant and are being stifled out here. Now, this is shit that Black and Hispanic people already know, but the racist Trumpy whites, y'all seem to think that Trump is just, once he gets it this time, he's gonna look out for y'all. The fuck. And then I feel bad for the poor whites because they be lying to themselves and each other. You know, oh, Trump's taxes. Motherfucker, you work at Walmart. You're not even management at Walmart, white person. You talking about Trump tax structure. Get the fuck out of here. You don't make enough money to even qualify for Trump's tax cuts and tax structure and all that shit. He ain't even talking to you or about you. But because white folks and basically people in this country, but especially white folks, are quite delusional about their economic station and opportunity, when Trump talks about taxes and tariffs, y'all motherfuckers really think that shit is some shit applied to you. Incorrect. So anyway, back to Democrats. Y'all, don't let your liberal friends get this game run on them. Please tell them who is actually suing to keep non-two-party candidates off of the ballots. Tell them who is really suing to keep Dr. West and Claudia De la Cruz and Jill Stein off of the ballots. Tell them what that actually is. Tell them how that is the opposite of democratic. Tell them how it kind of smells like fascism coming from Kamala and the Democrats. Just a thought. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Will tells me there's a fuck ton of people in here and I'm confused. But I welcome you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All up in your face. We appreciate you coming by, checking us out. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Please give the video a like, subscribe if you will. I'm only like 50 subs away from 6,000. So, help us out on that front. We accept support of all kinds, free and material. Is that Wilbert? Will?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm working on my timing. So yeah, and also to reiterate that, we just wanted to thank Teresa for your super chat, and also Alizarian with the useful information. They said yesterday, Michigan rules West/Amdullah must be allowed on their ballot. Tomorrow, Wisconsin staff will do the same. So, yep.
Thank you, Alizarin.
Truth, justice,
Alizarin. I'm sorry. I got Alizarin is how you say it. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yes, please correct us. I'm not above making mistakes, but we appreciate your super chat always.
Thank you.
So definitely, and yes, we do have it. Fluctuates because now it's 234, and then it went from like 400 to So it's a lot of people in here.
Awesome.
What's up, y'all? Welcome, and hit the like button. It's only 74. What's going on?
I know they hate us. Is Latif on?
Yeah, Latif. Hold on, let me add Latif. Yep.
Okay, brother Latif, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me clearly?
Semi clearly. It sounds a little busy behind you. Is it good?
Give me 1 second.
What? No. It's cool. We're gonna come back to you after the next segment. I hear trains, horn blowing, and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you hear all that, huh?
Pick them off, Will. Still out.
Latif on that Amtrak.
Yeah, buddy.
Moving that work. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, shut up, Will. We'll come back to you, Latif. I'm gonna come back to you after the next segment. Thank you, though. So Latif is volunteered you can take him down. Thank you. Latif is volunteered to read the names of our supporters who kicked in during the summer fundraiser. Because again, I struggle a tiny bit. So he's going to do that hopefully when the sound gets a little bit quieter behind him. But thanks so much to our mods, to Latif, to Courtney, to Anna, to Abby, to Tyler. I don't know if Chuck Diesel showed up, but Chuck, y'all the real MVPs out here. I know when this vertical live streaming gets busy, like I'm sure the chat can get interesting. I'd love to see it, but my phone fucking hates me. Well, I think it's my phone and YouTube. It's a combination. A lot of people hate me, but that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We shake the haters off. No worries. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being in here. Don't forget, make sure we try to get the likes up on the vids, please, and thank you. YouTube needs to know that not people don't just occasionally tune in, that they kind of like the shit sometimes. That would be helpful. So please engage, give the video a like, subscribe, and consider some channel support. So one thing you guys know about me is that I want so much harm, physical, karmic, emotional, financial. I want so much harm to befall abusers and predators of all stripes, genders, sexual orientations, class stations, whatever. I want bad to happen to all abusers. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. We do this every Tuesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And why I hate an abuser for a number of reasons. But predators, let's throw the predators in there too. Will, if you could cue up that first clip for me. Because there's a spectrum of predatory abusive behavior. Okay, let's start. We're not talking about intimate partner violence, even though there's plenty of that to go around. Well, I just want to talk about the fucking weird shit that men do in public sometimes to women who are strangers to them, who don't know them, who are usually not interested in getting to know them. And maybe that seems to be what titillates these weirdo fucking men. And for those that are new here, let me be clear. I'm not talking about all men. I'm talking about weirdo fucking men. Okay. Case in point, over the summer, throughout the month of July and August, there have been at least half a dozen reportings of a flasher in Tacoma Park, Maryland. This happens to be on the Maryland side. Tacoma Park shares space with Maryland and Washington, D.C. Okay. But on the Maryland side, there's a portion of Tacoma Park that is home to the Sligo Creek Trail. Okay. Very popular walking trail, jogging trail. Find people there, whatever. And it seems that there's a fucking weirdo out there flashing his Johnson to women on the trail, mind you, specifically to women, because that's what cowards do, right? Like if you wanted to put your member on display, put them on display to the world. Show it to the guy jogging down the trail. You know what I'm saying? You just want to show it to the women, show it to every fucking body. But no, you want to show it to women because you want to terrorize women. You want to intimidate women. You want to make women fearful and uncomfortable at the minimum. Okay. I want us to take a look at the package, because when I heard the story, I had lots of thoughts. And spoiler alert, all my thoughts involve retaliation. They involve force and violence. they involve things. I have ideas, and I want to hear your ideas in the chat, in the comment as well. But yeah, well, you got this started at 22, my brothers. Because I don't want to start it from the beginning because old boy kind of stumbled over his copy. But we're going to start this.
I got you.
Thank you, my G. All right. So this is from NBC4. I just want y'all to be apprised of the story. It's not so much that they did such a great fucking job. Whatever. But here are the basic schmasics of this fucking penis flasher in Montgomery County, Maryland. Let's take a look.
The search is on to find the man responsible for exposing himself to multiple women along the Sligo Creek Trail. Since July 14th, Maryland National Capital Park Police has received 6 reports of indecent exposure calls, with the recent case happening last Saturday.
It definitely shocks me. I'm on this trail often, like I said, almost every day, at least every week.
Lauren Harris stops by the trail regularly and tries to keep her head on a swivel, especially after hearing about the 6 cases.
You know, I don't run with headphones in. If I want to hear music, I kind of let it play out loud so I can hear and be aware of my surroundings.
Police say the cases have occurred between the hours of 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the evening. Today, Montgomery County Police were set up in one of the parking lots near the trail, adding another layer of protection while investigators try to find the suspect.
See, with so many cases, that's very concerning to us. So therefore, we're trying to locate this individual and identify him.
Police believe the suspect is in his mid-20s, stands between 6 foot and 6 foot 3 inches, has a clean shave with short dark hair, and was last seen shirtless or in a t-shirt with a blue bucket hat that had Lilo and Stitch graphics. While those walking along the trail say they appreciate the police presence, they say they would like to see detectives catch the suspect.
Well, it makes us feel safer, but we hope that they find the perpetrator. Yeah, that's the important thing.
In Maryland, Dominique Moody, News 4.
I have lots of thoughts, lots of thoughts. First of all, this person allegedly doing this flashing is in their mid 20s. Okay. So we're talking about a kid born in the 2000s. You're too fucking young to be this goddamn weird, bold, and aggressive. Please. Something is the matter. I need this person to seek help and reach help. But in the interim, so one thing there, the police say that they have an increased presence at the trail. That's good, I guess, if you walk that trail. But if the person who is doing the indecent exposure is aware of the increased police presence, what do you guys think is going to happen, everybody? Either he's going to take a break, or what? Did I hear it from the chat? Oh, he's going to go to another fucking trail. Exactly. Exactly. All the police have done is encouraged him to move it along. Nothing to see here. Move along. And that's probably what this freak show is going to do. Move it along to another trail, making more women in particular uncomfortable. Now, to the police's credit, I appreciate them saying and expressing publicly that this kind of behavior is concerning, especially the number of victims. Because, guys, you guys know this. How sexual predation can work is that it can be on a grade. It grades up, right? So a little pervert like this fucker might start off being a peeping Tom, maybe looking in people's windows, maybe stealing panties out of the laundromat, maybe doing some burglary, even indecent exposure, flashing, right? This is all low level shit, right? This is all warm up shit to when the motherfucker actually decides to escalate and get more bold and perhaps even violent, perhaps even touching somebody, assaulting somebody, pulling somebody off of the trail to assault them. Okay. I appreciate the cops taking it a bit more seriously, but I'm going to need them to do more. And I have an idea of what the cops can do. I'm going to come back to that. But guys, I am perplexed at the age and the size of this person. I won't call them a kid. And usually a person in their mid-20s, I would be inclined to call them a kid. This is not a kid. Okay. This is a person who is very willfully and intentionally trying to inflict. It is traumatic. And to be honest, I can't even recall if I've ever been flashed by a man. Something tells me that I have. But in the scheme, in the scheme of assaults, right? On the range of assaults, I would imagine if I had been exposed to some sort of indecent exposure, I probably don't remember it, right? In light of other things. But this is what I want people to do. And I'm actually looking for some suggestions here, suggestions from our chatters and even our commenters when you watch this later. So when I heard this story, all I could fantasize was, okay, I can fantasize this kid shirtless. He's not a kid. He's a big man between 6 foot and 6'3". I'm assuming he must be light skinned of some kind because they won't. Anyway, I did hear him described as light skinned. So I'm imagining this 6'1" light skinned man shirtless, and he's probably wearing basketball shorts. And as you are walking on the trail, and he's coming towards you, he pulls his shorts down and starts grabbing his Johnson, right? Now, I don't want anyone to get close enough to him to touch him, but what I want is for women to hold throwable things in their hands. Now, guys, help me come up with a list of throwable things, because what are we throwing at? Are we throwing at his face? No. Are we throwing at his eyes? No. This person has pulled out their dick, right? So they have put basically a target, right? They put their penis in the crosshairs, if you will. If this person is so bold to pull out their Johnson and show it to people not just people, specifically women, we need to be greeting that penis with a rock, okay? Or throwing star, or a paving stone, or one of those mini pumpkins, those tiny pumpkins, those handheld little pumpkins. Guys, help me come up with things. What are some handheld items that a woman And I'm telling you, chicks around here in the DMV, we a little athletic. Okay. A lot of people around here played sports, you know what I'm saying? Softball, me myself, volleyball, track, you know what I'm saying? There's some chicks around here played fucking football. We got a fucking women's football team out this bitch. The DC Divas. Okay. Women around here are athletic as fuck. Okay. I have high confidence in a woman's hand-eye coordination ability to have something of a little bit of heft, some weight. Maybe not something that takes up your whole palm, because my hands are not very big, but I could hold something, a good size rock, and fling it right at that motherfucker's dick. Oh, you want to show your dick to the world? Do you, nigga? Well, take these fucking rocks directly to your penis. Take them to your penis. Take this pumpkin to your fucking penis. Take this throwing star to your penis. Do not let this man pass you on the path and he show his dick to you and you don't throw something at that fucking dick. You better throw something at that dick. He wants to have that penis out here exposed to the world. Oh my God, YouTube is going to take this goddamn video down so bad because of all the references to the male genitalia. But that's what I'm sorry. It's the topic of discussion, and this is not sexual in any way. This is proactive. This is defensive. Because guess what, kids? I assure you, he flashed that dick at the right fucking woman on that trail, and he get a nice size pebble to the fucking tip of his dick. It'd be the last time he bring that motherfucker out in public again, unasked for. That is the problem. Police can't stop this. Even the police increasing patrols at the trail, that doesn't stop this. I would actually love to see an undercover police officer, a woman, posing as a trail user, wearing Google Glass glasses or the Ray-Bans that record video and shit, and walk them fucking trails all goddamn day until this motherfucker encounters her and she gets them right on videotape. Case closed, no questions asked. We got you on video. The police not going to do that. At least I don't think they are. They're going to park at the fucking parking lot and be like, well, we haven't got no more reports. Yeah, because he's about to move along to the next trail and terrorize some more women in a different area. Police don't stop crime, kids. But it'd be nice if they were to apprehend this particular criminal. But my concern is this, everybody. This is the shit I be talking about. When it comes to sexual predators in particular, this applies for abusers too, but for predators, they do not stop. They escalate. They see what the fuck they can get away with on the low level. And as long as they keep getting away with stuff on the low level, then that's when they escalate. That's when they really become dangerous. Okay? This person, this man who is doing this indecent exposure is not dangerous, at least to our knowledge, by the way. I'd be curious what their personal life looks like, but we won't know until they're apprehended, and that's if they're apprehended. But in the interim, he's flashed his dick at 6 women. 6. If there is a 7th, let it be the last, because let that 7th woman, and everybody, I know everybody here is not religious. I'm not really super religious, but can we put out a message to the universe? Can we throw out a karmic request? If there is another woman who is going to be potentially scarred at the sight of this man flashing her with his penis or masturbating in her presence in a public space that she absolutely did not want, ask for, did anything to deserve, can we ask that this woman have something in her hands? May we ask, Lord Jesus, Buddha, Allah, please, can this woman have outstanding hand-eye coordination? And as soon as that dick makes a public appearance, whatever the fuck she has in her hand pings him right on the fucking tip, right on the tip. Let the quarter, the crack of that rock hit that motherfucker right at his urethra opening. I want him harmed. I want him to fall on the ground in excruciating pain. And then, beloved, let's continue with the prayer. Then, Lord Jesus, Allah, Buddha, can the woman who had outstanding hand-eye coordination. Can she have good hand? Could she have good eye-foot coordination? And scrotum stomp this motherfucker. Scrotum stomp him. Scrotum stomp him. Scrotum stomp him. I wish I still had the ability to be out here walking by myself, beloveds. Can I tell you the 5-minute fantasy I had earlier today, imagining it was me who came across this motherfucker flashing his dick? And let me imagine it was me who magically saw that I had a nice rock in my hand. Shit that shit, hit that nigga right in his fucking dick. He falls to the ground. Stomp, stomp. All my people say stomp. All my ladies say stomp. Yeah. My father say, yo, I promise the stomp, the whole stomp, nothing but the stomp. Yeah, buddy. That's what I was hoping for. In Jesus' name, amen. I mean. Whew. Okay, all right. That's the first part of the Creeps Corner. I'm sorry, I got a little excited. Whew. To ball stomp a predator. Oh, whew. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. Anyway, but another predator who definitely needs his ball stomped is this fucking piece of shit former cop, former police out of Rochester, New York. You guys, please be sure to give the video a like and a subscribe. It's Burning Down with Kim Brown. Follow us different places around the internet at BIDWKB. So the announcement of the sentencing of former Rochester police officer, I believe his name is Sean Jordan. Sean Jordan in 2022 admitted that he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl. Okay. He knew and she knew that this man, he was 40 at the time, an active duty, but a member of the Rochester Police Department. He has actually another charge pending against him for allegedly sending a nude image of himself or becoming nude while on a live stream with a different teen girl. But for this case regarding his now convicted rape, Sean Jordan recently received a sentence and was handed a sentence by, I think this is Oneida County, or is it Ontario County? Right, upstate New York. Help me out. Was this on? I think it's Ontario County. An Ontario County judge issued what many are calling a lenient sentence relative to the crime that this man is now convicted of doing, and because he was a cop. And a lot of people mistakenly believe that police are held to a bigger standard because they are themselves sworn to protect and uphold the law. Like many would think that, oh, well, if a cop breaks the law, well, then they kind of come down harder on him because he should know better, right? He knows the law. No, actually, the ways in which police are protected out here by the criminal and justice system is rather disgusting. And that disgusting aspect is reflected in this fucked up sentence that this piece of shit teen rapist of teenagers received. So let's take a listen to the package.
Breaking news, a former Rochester police officer who admits he committed rape has been sentenced to 10 weekends in jail. Once entrusted to enforce the law, then admitting he broke it by committing rape, and now former Rochester police officer Sean Jordan has been sentenced to weekends in jail. Good afternoon, I'm Karen Edwards. Matt is off. 13 Wham's Daniel Finkelstein is live from Ontario County Court right now with the very latest. Daniel.
Yeah, Karen, Sean Jordan will serve 10 weekends in jail beginning on August 25th, as well as 10 years on probation for rape. Today's sentencing marks the end of a nearly 2-year-long case. Jordan, a former Rochester police officer, was accused of having sex with a 13-year-old girl at his home in South Bristol. The victim's family was present in court today, her mother saying Jordan's actions ruined her daughter's life and he doesn't deserve to be out on the street. Jordan was arrested and suspended from the Rochester Police Department with without pay 6 months after being accused of having inappropriate conversations with a 16-year-old girl online, a separate incident in Monroe County, and allegations the police chief called reprehensible. Jordan would later resign. He pleaded guilty to rape in the second degree and forcible touching for the South Bristol case earlier this year. Today in court, the judge spoke to Jordan, saying his actions violated the public's trust, adding she feels he deserves prison, but the sentence conditions were necessary to spare the child from having to testify in court. The prosecutor also left unsatisfied by this sentence.
This is an ultimate tragedy because the parents trusted him. He's a police officer. And if we can't trust the police, then who can we trust? And it's a very difficult situation. I'm a parent of 3 children myself, and it's one of those circumstances where you just look at it and say, there by the grace of God go I, because this was a child who trusted somebody, and he was an adult, and he knew better, and he's the one to blame. There's no one else to blame.
Now, in addition to the weekends in jail and the probation term, Jordan will have to register as a sex offender, abide by an order of protection for the victim and her family, as well as pay more than $1,000 in fines. Live in Canandaigua, Daniel Finkelstein, 13 WHAM News.
Crazy story, right? I mean, the sentencing is reprehensible. 10 weekends, everybody. You guys ever known anyone to be sentenced to weekends in jail? Was it for rape? Because the only person I know that got sentenced to, I know 2 people that got sentenced to weekends, and one of them was for DUI, and I think another one had to do with some drugs, right? And they had good lawyers, so they got weekends. But the R wording of a 13-year-old to get a sentence of 10 weekends in jail and 10 years probation. Other reporting indicated that Sean Jordan's defense attorneys really pressed the judge very hard for a lenient sentence for some obvious reasons. Number one, people that rape children are usually not treated very well in jail. And number two, police, justifiably, are also not treated well in jail. So when you have a cop who's a fucking piece of shit child rapist, he wasn't gonna fare very well at all, right? So that factored, I believe, very heavily into the judge's decision. Now, the prosecutors claim that the judge was under some sort of, their hands were tied because the 13-year-old was not, or they preferred or opted to not to put the 13-year-old on the stand, which I'm okay with, because that is a re-traumatization of the trauma that the child had already endured at the hands of the fucking piece of shit cop. Even she, as a victim, would be re-traumatized trying to exert justice on him, right? Which is fucking crazy when you think about it. That the victim has to traumatize themselves multiple times over after the initial trauma in order to get, quote, justice. Now, the 13-year-old's mother spoke up at Sean Jordan's sentencing. The mother said that the child's life is ruined. Her words. She said that the child's life is ruined, that the child is just revisiting and rehashing the trauma that she experienced at the hands of this officer. And it's going to be a long road for this young person. And of course, we feel terrible for that. This cop, by the way, Sean Jordan, is still, sorry, my chin was itching, is still going to be facing charges connected to the contact that he made with yet another teenager, in which he is accused of sending her inappropriate materials. But I take that to mean dick pics, right? Which is a felony in New York State. So he's still facing yet another felony charge and connecting to being an outright creep towards little girls. And Sean Jordan was 40 when he allegedly committed these acts, or at least convicted of one of these acts, allegedly committed the other. We'll see, but we know what the fuck. So what's wrong? What's going on? Like, what is the problem? Is it just accepted that young girls and I guess young kids, because with the foolish, let us ourselves not be foolish and think that little boys and teen boys are immune from being victims of sexual predation? They are not, right? But I just wonder, I'm in my 40s myself, and it's so weird to me when I hear people in my age range, my age mates, more or less, doing this fucking creep shit. What the fuck happened to you in the 80s? What happened to you in the 90s? And no, and trust me, shit happened. Okay. Like I don't disbelieve the shit happened, but I have to believe that people are absolutely old enough to know better. That 40-year-old man knew good and goddamn well he had no business, none whatsoever, none, talking to a 13 or a 16-year-old. He fucking knew that. And he did it anyway. And he did it under the protection of the badge. And by the way, if you did not catch that in the package, Sean Jordan wasn't fired as a cop. He was suspended and allowed to resign. Wasn't that nice of them? Wasn't that nice of them not to fire him? He doesn't get fired for being a pedophile. Silly. he gets to quit. And he's going on the sex offender registry. And he only gets to do 10 weekends. And guys, the message that this kind of sentence sends is abhorrent. It is terrible. But unfortunately, it validates and confirms what the fuck we already knew, what we've been knew. Ain't no real consequence for sexual violence in America. I'm sorry. Like all the people who talk shit to me sometimes in the comments, because I go on anti-cop rants with regularity. Well, who you go call the police? Who you go call the right? The fucking cops don't stop shit. They don't prevent a fucking thing. Even in the previous story, this dick flasher had already struck 6 times, okay, before the cops even showed the fuck up. What are we talking about? And when we look specifically at the profession of police officer and even by extension, military member, right? These are two of the jobs, the professions that have very high instances of sexual predation, of domestic violence, of child abuse. Like people who work in these occupations, not to say they all, but they stand a proportionately higher chance of doing these bad acts. And when it comes to cops, particularly male cops, these cops do a lot of these bad sexual acts whilst on the job, or they do it because they had the ability, because they had a badge. Someone in their victim knew they were police and maybe afforded them some modicum of trust as a result of their position in the community. But please, kids, everybody, the reason I tell these stories, these particular stories, and I had another story that I wanted to bring, but I wasn't able to put my hands on it quick enough, but involved a mental health worker who had allegedly committed a sexual assault against a teen. And this was a woman. And I will find that story and I will bring it to y'all. But we need to know the pervs, the pedos, the chomos, child molesters in the community sometimes wear badges. Sometimes they coach football. Sometimes they teach in the school. Sometimes they teach Sunday school. Sometimes they're in the church. Sometimes they have titles. Sometimes they're doctors. Sometimes they're neighbors. Sometimes they're the kid's best friend's parent, step parent. Like the more you know, the more you know. Okay. Your children are not out here safe from officer friendly either. And please don't ever make the mistake, especially for those that are parents or if you have proximity to children, niece, nephew, etc., younger cousins, whatever. Like, don't allow or don't be afraid to question if the parents in your life maybe sometimes give other adults some unearned trust. Oh, well, Tina, let's say fucking Tina. I don't know. It's the first name I thought of. Well, Tina's, well, Officer Jordan said that he's going to pick Tina up and take her to the rec center. And I appreciate Officer Jordan picking Tina up because, Tina's been a handful. She's had problems in school ever since me and her dad broke up. Tina's been having some problems. I appreciate Officer Jordan being a father figure to her and spending time with her. Don't you fucking ever in the history of fucking ever. I don't care if your child is a girl child, boy child, non-binary child. Do not let your child alone with any adult that you don't know. And when I say know, I mean know where they live. You know their home phone number. You know a family member. You know an ex-partner. Like, no, not that. See, the social media shit and all of this microwave friendship that era that we live in. People be like, oh yeah, I know so and so, that's my friend. Bitch, you done talked to this motherfucker on DM 2 times. How y'all friends? How is that your friend? How do you know them? You don't. And this quick familiarity with people, or this quick assumption that just because someone has a particular title or occupation in the community that renders them trustworthy. Stop. It's 2024. We cannot be this fucking dumb, naive, childish. I'm just saying unsophisticated. That's my word today. We can't be this fucking unsophisticated, guys. Your kids are on the menu, okay? Period. And you need to assume that every adult that you don't know, I don't mean acquainted with, I don't mean that you've met. I'm literally, when I say no, conoces, saber, okay? No conoce. Dude, you gotta saber these motherfuckers, okay? Not acquainted with, you got to fucking know. You feel me? Know them for a long time. Know them for more than a year or 2. Know their work history, know their kids. You got to know them. And even if you know that shit, that doesn't mean that your kids are necessarily safe. But stop with this unearned trust of adults, especially those like teachers, like cops, like coaches, because they're, quote, supposed to be there to protect the kids. In fact, sometimes it is people in those very specific professions that chose those professions because of the proximity it gives them to children, for their ability to come in and be slick and sneaky and unsuspecting and have access to as many victims as their parents and guardians will allow them to be served up to these individuals. So fuck Sean Jordan, roast in hell. If anybody is in Ontario County, that's my new shit. If you know anybody locked up in Ontario County, NY, and they see Officer Jordan there on the weekend starting August 25th, I believe is his first week. Y'all got 10 weekends. Y'all got 10 weekends. You got 10 shots. Okay? To do what? I'll leave it up to everybody's imagination, but we know his charges. You know what he's in there for. And if we have any COs, can I shout out to the COs? If we have any COs that are also disgusted by Officer Jordan's predatory and horrendous behavior, sexually assaulting a teenager, sending pictures of his genitals to another teenager. If you're a correctional officer and you find this kind of behavior abhorrent, maybe don't lock his door all the way. Maybe don't close the door. Maybe check in with some of the folks that are in your charge that also not too keen on the actions and behaviors of Officer Jordan. Maybe you could leave the door open. Maybe somebody could go visit him and say hello, say what's up. Just a thought, just a suggestion. I'm gonna take a quick break pause for the cause. We almost done. I'm finna turn y'all loose here real quick. Will, do we have Brother Lateef back on the line?
I think we do. You there, Lateef?
Brother Lateef. Brother Lateef, are you there? Brother Lateef, go.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, there you go. You
Is that better?
Much better. You sound crystal clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, my signal's going in and out, and I didn't know where I was on train.
Oh shit.
So,
okay. Well, then let's
let
make
me
it
start.
snippy then. So let's make it quick. Let's
Let's make it quick.
Yes, sir. So Lateef is about to read all of the supporters, people that sent material support for our summer fundraiser as an acknowledgement of our appreciation and thanks here at the channel. So Lateef, whenever you're ready, go right ahead.
All right, and in no particular order, I'm going to start with the first name. I think it's Dabliss G or Dabliss G, Wendy G, Alicia B, Vicky Blues, Frederick P, Maddie K, Tina R, Aria N, Draxton S, Ebony J, Allison A, Cynthia G, Philip B, Alicia, Patrick S, Abel W, Rosalba, Helena, Via, Ray, Mara W, Ina B, I hope I said that right, Ina, J. Kofi, Librarian, Afraid Not, Adrian F, Deborah L, Zernia F, Monty Now, Stoner Loner, Anna and Mama Lo Hart, Teresa P, Jody P, Courtney, Brian M, Matthew S.T., Vesper X, and myself. That concludes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Latif. You read beautifully there. It sounded like it was Othello. You know what I'm saying? It was
Thank you.
giving that good Lawrence Fishburne. Now we appreciate that, brother Latif. Thank you so much. Safe travels,
Okay.
brother Latif. Be careful out there. And we
I
thank you
appreciate
so
y'all.
much.
Not a problem. Peace, y'all.
Peace, peace, peace. All right, all right. So thank you guys to everyone that supported. Thank you so much, Alizarin, for your support tonight. Mama Lorraine, thank you so much for your support tonight, guys. You can always support the channel with Cash App, BIDWKB. That's us on Venmo, PayPal, Super Chats also accepted. Patreon.com/BIDWKB, guys. And before I leave out of here tonight, because I know I'll be talking about some fuck shit. The shit that do not be making the people feel good out here. I want to start a new thing, and I want to call it the palate cleanser. Okay, l'aperitif, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Something to cleanse your palate after maybe some sour things, or if we had a nice plate of sushi, this is your little ginger slice before we move on to the next variation of the sushi, whatever you want to call it. But this is the palate cleanser. So if you haven't seen this already, let me be the first to show you. I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across this TikTok of a very well-known R&B singer. Dare I call her a legend? The one and only Janet Jackson, the sister to none other than Michael Jackson, right? And Janet was giving an interview on the BBC. And can I again big up a little bit to the foreign journalists, I guess, of all in many genres. I just find that journalists over here just really don't ask very good questions. The interviews just be like, this is boring as shit. So, anyway, but in all the years of watching Janet Jackson, in all the years of hearing Janet give different interviews about her family and about her experience and about her start and time in the music industry, I have never heard Janet Jackson say this. And the spoiler alert is, guess who Janet and Michael and them kinfolk is? I'm about to fuck y'all up. If y'all haven't already seen it, I'm about to fuck y'all up. Guess who Janet and Michael and them kinfolk is? Will, run the tape.
Wonder. Now, someone told me this earlier. Stevie Wonder. Now, someone told me this earlier. Are you related to Stevie?
He's our cousin.
How have I gone that long in life?
Not a lot of people know that. He's our cousin on my mother's side.
That's blown my mind.
So is Tracy Chapman.
Whoa. Hang on.
So,
can we go through the family tree again?
So is Samuel Jackson.
So Stevie is what to you?
My cousin.
Tracy Chapman.
Cousin.
Samuel Jackson.
He would be a cousin too. I mean, he's not my brother.
Right, yeah, fine.
But yes.
I never knew.
Stevie Wonder and the Jacksons are cousins. Cousins. Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and Rebe and Tito and Marlon and Jermaine. Stevie is all them cousins. Stevie is Tracy Chapman. Oh, the Janet is Tracy Chapman cousin. See, now I wanted to hear more about the lineage. By the way, the Jackson family, fascinating. Katherine Jackson, still with us, by the way. Katherine Jackson, shout out to her. But she claimed that Janet did, that all these folks are related to them via their mama's line. How are Tracy Chapman, Samuel L. Jackson, and Stevie Wonder all cousins with the Jacksons? Did y'all know this? Is this information new to you? Did y'all know this shit and did nobody fucking tell me? What? And I'm so struck. I should have pulled it up, but I didn't. It just put me immediately in the mind. And if you've never seen this picture, I encourage you to Google this picture. There is a picture of Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder in the 70s. You can tell it's definitely in the 70s by Stevie's gear and Michael's nose. That it was definitely still in the 70s. Oh, that had to have been 79. Michael, look at Michael's nose. Michael's nose was, 93, 95% there. Oh, yeah, that was over. Anyway, Stevie is being Stevie in the fucking studio, either on the keyboards or at the board or something. And Michael not touching that piece of equipment, not touching an instrument or nothing. Michael is over Stevie's shoulder watching what now I know is his cousin, watching his cousin get busy in the motherfucking studio. Did y'all know that the Jacksons and Stevie Wonder was cousins? Did y'all know that? So anyway, that's our palate cleanser for tonight. I hope that brought a little smile, dare I say, a little chuckle, a little gasp of surprise to you. So you're welcome. And I thank you all for showing up tonight. Do me a favor, please give the video a like on your way out the door. We appreciate it. Share the content far and wide. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. You can also catch me on Black Liberation Media, the Remix Morning Show, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not going to be on there tomorrow, but I will be on there Thursday. And the Ear Doctor and I are doing Classical Breakdown on Thursday morning at 11, also on Black Liberation Media. Now, let me guys give you a quick programming update, and I'm going to turn you loose because I know Will ready to fight me. But so Ear Doctor and I are for Classical Breakdown. Ear Doctor and I are both Gen Xers. We like to discuss music of the 80s and 90s to put into perspective, especially for younger viewers, why artists and albums and eras were classic and why you should be apprised. Because kids, I promise you, the best music that you're going to hear was born before you were. And let me say that, I say that sincerely, because the best music that I've heard was born before I was. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So we here to shake off some of the generational stigma about, that shit is old and cranking. that shit may be old. That shit thumps. So I actually hit Ear Doctor with an audible today, with a game, with a play change. I'm calling plays out here. We got to change up. We were going to do New Edition. But I said, God damn, New Edition has sort of been well addressed in recent years. Like they had a whole mini series, on BET, which I watched and thought was quite good. I think there was even some accompanying, unsung documentaries with New Edition, and they've been on tour a number of times. I feel as though the younger generation has gotten a good little New Edition tutorial. I want to do a musician / artist, and it's going to come out of left field, but this person's This person's musicianship is so fucking tight. I want us to not only know artists, I want us to know the people who actually made the artist sound outstanding, people who played the instruments in the studio. So that's my tease. I'm gonna leave it there. As y'all can find out what I'm talking about on Thursday rather. I give y'all a hint. Thunder thumbs. That's all I'm going to say. Thunder thumbs. That's all I'm going to say. So join me and the Ear Doctor Thursday morning for Classical Breakdown. And of course, the Remix Morning Show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern. All right, gang, I'm gone. Thank you so much to Will and Molly. And we will see you guys back here for Friday. Okay, gang? Thank you all so much. Love y'all. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Deuces.